The imperial palace of Zatheron had never been quiet, but on this particular morning silence fell like a shroud over its crystalline halls. At the center of the commotion stood Elena Martinez, a human cleaning attendant, her arm wrapped in makeshift bandages, and beside her, Prince Zarketh's prized void dragon, Sharax, cowering behind its master's legs. The incident had occurred in the royal conservatory. Elena had been polishing the bioluminescent panels when Sharax, a creature the size of a small horse with scales that shifted like oil on water, had lunged at her. The dragon's teeth had sunk deep into her forearm, its venom, lethal to most species in the galaxy, pumping into her bloodstream. The palace guards had rushed in, expecting to find a corpse. Instead, they found Elena standing over the dragon, her other hand gripping its snout, her voice steady and sharp. "Bad. We do not bite people who are just trying to do their jobs." Sharax, the same creature that had once torn through a battalion of rebel soldiers, whimpered. Prince Zarketh arrived moments later, his 4 eyes wide with horror. The Zatheronian prince had ruled over 3 star systems, commanded fleets that made empires tremble, but he had never seen anyone survive Sharax's bite, let alone scold the dragon into submission. "The venom," he stammered in galactic standard, his translator struggling to keep up with his shock. "You should be dead, liquefied. Your cells should be—" Elena looked at her arm, then back at the prince. "Yeah, it burns like hell, but I've had worse. Got bit by a rattlesnake when I was 12 on my uncle's ranch in Arizona. Spent 3 days in the hospital, but I pulled through." She shrugged. "Guess humans are just built different." The phrase would echo through the palace for weeks to come. Within hours, the palace's chief physician, a spider-like being named Dr. Thixral, had Elena in the medical wing. The doctor's 8 eyes blinked in asynchronous confusion as she ran test after test. The venom that should have killed Elena in minutes had been metabolized and neutralized by her immune system in under an hour. "Impossible," Dr. Thixral chittered. "The toxin is designed to attack cellular membranes across 97% of known species. Your biology should not be able to produce the necessary antibodies this quickly. It's as if your body treats catastrophic venom like a common infection." Elena sat on the examination table, eating a sandwich she'd brought from the staff quarters. "Doc, humans have been dealing with venomous critters for millions of years. Snakes, scorpions, spiders, jellyfish, you name it, Earth's got something that wants to inject poison into you. Our immune systems are basically combat veterans." The news spread through the palace like wildfire. The human who survived the void dragon's bite became the subject of whispered conversations in every corridor. The Zatheronian nobility, who had always viewed humans as soft, primitive creatures suitable only for menial labor, began to see Elena differently. But it wasn't the survival that truly silenced the palace. It was what happened 3 days later. Prince Zarketh summoned Elena to the throne room, expecting to offer compensation, perhaps a transfer to a safer position. Instead, he found himself facing a woman who had no interest in his charity. "Your Highness," Elena began, her voice respectful but firm, "I appreciate the gesture, but I'm not here for a payout. I'm here to talk about Sharax." The prince's antennae twitched in confusion. "The dragon? What about it?" "She's not aggressive by nature," Elena explained. "I've been watching her for months while cleaning the conservatory. She's anxious, stressed. The way you keep her confined in those energy barriers with no room to fly, no proper enrichment, it's cruel." The throne room fell silent. No one spoke to Prince Zarketh this way, certainly not a human servant. "You dare," one of the courtiers began, but the prince raised a hand to silence him. "Continue," Zarketh said, his voice carefully neutral. Elena pulled out a data pad. "I did some research on void dragons. On Earth, we've learned a lot about animal behavior. Captive breeding, enrichment, psychological needs. Sharax needs space, stimulation, and most importantly, trust-based interaction, not fear-based control." She swiped through images of Earth's zoos, sanctuaries, and conservation programs. "We made a lot of mistakes with our animals, but we learned. Let me help you do better." For a long moment, the prince said nothing. Then slowly he descended from his throne and approached Elena. "You were nearly killed by my dragon, and your concern is for its welfare?" She was scared and defensive, Elena replied. "I don't hold it against her. Besides, where I come from, we believe in second chances. For everyone." Prince Zarketh studied the human before him. This small, fragile-looking creature who had survived what should have been certain death who showed no fear in his throne room, who advocated for the well-being of the beast that had attacked her. In that moment, he understood why humans, despite their lack of natural armor, claws, or venom, had spread across the galaxy with such determination. They were not just survivors. They were caregivers. Warriors when necessary, but nurturers by choice. Very well, the prince said. You will oversee Sharax's care, redesign her habitat, implement your enrichment protocols, and you will teach my handlers these Earth methods. Elena smiled. One condition: I want a raise. And hazard pay. For the first time in decades, Prince Zarketh laughed, a deep resonant sound that rippled through the throne room. Agreed. As Elena left the throne room, the palace staff parted before her like a tide. The human maid who had been invisible before now walked with the authority of someone who had stared death in the face and found it wanting. In the conservatory, Sharax watched Elena approach with cautious eyes. The human carried no weapons, no restraints. Just a bag of treats she'd synthesized based on the dragon's nutritional needs and a plan to make things right. Okay, girl, Elena said softly, extending her scarred hand. Let's try this again. Friends? Sharax sniffed the air, then slowly, carefully pressed her snout into Elena's palm. The palace would never be quiet again, but now the noise was different. It was the sound of change, carried on the wings of a dragon and the will of a human who refused to accept the galaxy's limits.